Welcome everybody to the VTS. Tonight we got another new face here. We've got Becky Rita. What's going on, man?
Hello. I'm having a great evening. Just I've been hanging out all day. I actually was doing some work earlier. Doing some production and broadcast prep of my own. Just
Okay.
hanging out,
Mhm.
chipping away at things. But otherwise, I've been having a great evening, a great Friday night, and I'm excited to watch some great League of Legends action here. Because this is a league that I have not personally been keeping that much of an eye on, so I'm very excited to see how these games play out for sure.
All right, well, that's good to hear. And joining me as well once again is the one and the only beanie man as well, dare I say,
Mhm.
Salt Spreader. What's going on, brother? How you feeling tonight?
Pretty excited. Like Becky Rita said, it's a very important night, or has not said. It's very important for both of these teams here, because it locks either team into playoffs or out of playoffs, or kees them in contention.
hmm
Wolfpack needs to win this game, or they're out. It's do or die. And if you take a look at OSU as well, this locks them into playoffs if they win. So they still have a chance if they lose this series, but this is very important because it does lock in that fourth seed for them. This is how they guarantee themselves a way in.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's like Becky was saying, he was excited for something going down tonight, and it's definitely going to be very exciting. It's going to be both teams really just tooth and nail clawing their way to the victory because, like you were saying, this is going to be so important for both teams. Like you're saying, Ohio State really wants to secure themselves kind of this buffering that they can kind of
Mhm.
get if they get the win here, while Wolfpack, if they lose, they're out. They're pretty much done. Their run is over. Everything they've worked for
Mhm.
these past couple of weeks, all the hardships that they've endured and faced will be for naught. That being said, though, so Becky, you haven't really had much of a chance to see a lot going down in the BTS, and so I don't know how extensive you've seen from the VTS here
I
since
have
Maybe
been,
for a
do- I
couple of
have, I've done
weeks.
my prep, of course.
Mhm.
I'm not just
good
coming in
man, good
here
man.
doing actually no research. I looked
You do
through
research?
some
You do that?
stats and standings and everything. So
Mhm.
I'm aware that this league has been very interesting in terms of how things have shaken out. Because right now we're looking at teams that are in the middle of the standings. So like there are a couple of teams who are just like Mint and Clover, just like
Mhm.
5-0.
Oh yeah.
They're pretty much guaranteed, but because only top 4 make it in, it is actually so hard for any of these teams to crack in to playoffs as opposed to like a smaller league or a league with less, I mean obviously, a league with more teams making playoffs. It's so hard to get into these actual big leagues.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
every game for these middle of the pack teams matters, and especially this one because basically Wolfpack and Ohio State are they're not tied. They were tied. I think they were literally tied earlier, or the last time I looked at the standings, and then today when I checked again, they were not tied, and I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be good for the
Mhm.
Wolfpack.
Yeah.
This is now a much more intense game, and
Yeah.
that is definitely got to be weighing on the players. Like they certainly have to be thinking about this. Like, oh man, we got to perform. This is it. This is
Mhm.
the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to come out there and we got to do it. And Ohio State, they have another chance, but they really should probably try and win this one.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely.
I kind of think so. Do you think maybe that the mental is going to be a really big aspect tonight, especially with like we were saying, right? Caldera realizing that this is like
Mhm.
this is it. This is the beginning of the end for them if they don't manage to step up.
I mean, mental warfare is always a way to win, and the onus is on Wolfpack. This is the must win. They are locked out of playoffs because of head to head if they lose this game right here. So it's very much important for them to just try and stay calm, collected, and make good decisions, capitalize on things they need to, and that's mostly what I'm looking for. And I mean, we'll see how it works out here, but it's a little rough for them, and they need to be in the right headspace to win this one. This is very important for them right here.
Yeah, so I also want to touch back on what Becky was saying with how hard it is for some of these teams to actually advance into that top 4 spot we were talking about,
Hmm.
right? It's such a gatekeeping force sort of in Group A with you got Mint, Clover, both tied for first place, right? 5-0. Then you've got
Hmm.
Virtue Gaming Ambition 4-1. So it's like already it's so incredibly hard. You're really always kind of just scraping by when you're one of these middle teams. In comparison to Group B, actually, where you have a three-way tie for third place, and then first and second place are pretty well defined, so to speak. So it's definitely a lot harder to kind of get into that spot that you want to get into here. honestly both of these groups, and it's very interesting to see. But it also kind of shows like which teams you can very clearly see which teams are dominant, which ones you need to be looking out for. But you never know, maybe some underdog action happens. We're gonna have to just gotta wait and see really what goes
Yeah.
down.
Underdog, perhaps under wolf action.
Ah, ah,
Ah,
ah.
I'm
I see what
sorry.
he did there.
I apologize. And such is the end of this.
You can go. You're done here.
All right, yep.
Thanks for showing
All
up
right.
to the desk.
It's over.
No,
It's
all
over.
thank you for having me. I understand. I'll I got a bus to catch.
Gotta do what I gotta do, bro. Nah, but it really do. But that being said, yeah, so mental is going to be absolutely huge, and I'm going to be curious to see which players we do see kind of popping off tonight, because we've seen Wolfpack Caldera, especially. We got to actually showcase them very early on in the VTS when they went up against MGM, Mint Gamer Mirage, and they actually had a rather decent performance, at least on their first game. They were really taking the fight to them, and especially some of the players, like for example Vanilla ADC on the Jhin, you had Professor Hex as well, were really getting the job done. Game 2, they kind of fell off a little bit. Unfortunately, they just, they didn't have what it takes, unfortunately, to take out MGM. But they did really show that they had some fight in them, and they definitely did know what they were doing. And just because of that, I do kind of feel like that tonight's match definitely not going to be just an absolute 2-0 sweep. I'm kind of feeling like that's going to be a very probably 2 one-sided. But that being said, I think we should just get into predictions, honestly, if we can get that done. I'm not sure. Okay,
All right.
I bet. Let's get predictions done. I'll start off just because I already started talking about it. He's already going away. I am very well known for I get it wrong every single time, mainly because I like to vote for the underdog and just go with like that crazy pick so I can be that guy. But tonight, honestly, I'm gonna play it safe. I think it's gonna be 2-1 for Ohio State University. Becky, what do you think?
Ooh. Well, I do think that these teams are close enough that it's likely not going to be a 2-0 stomp unless one of these teams just like mentally collapses after the first game, which is always possible, But if I had, I was talking about this before the broadcast, and there's no rational thought going into this, but I have Midwest kinship with Ohio State University. So I gotta support the homies in Ohio, as an Indiana boy, gotta run it down. 2-1, 2-1 for Ohio.
Respectable.
I mean, for me, I gotta go OSU. I've been seeing what they've been doing for the past little bit. I've seen a couple of their games, so I mean it's recency bias, and it's just what I've seen. So I gotta go with them. They're looking pretty solid here, so I'm just gonna give it a 2-1. I don't think it's gonna be easy. It's definitely gonna be a battle, but I mean OSU, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, we've got a full sweep Ohio State University here for the desk. So that's already if Wolfpack didn't have that too. If Wolfpack didn't have pressure on them already, now it's gonna be real amplified. The whole desk is rooting against them right now. It's like no one's got faith in them. They got something to prove tonight. But we'll have to see how they do. Yeah. I mean, hey, it all comes down to tonight, really. And hey, I love to be proven wrong. So go ahead and just do your best to prove me wrong. I love to see it. But it is definitely going to be it's going to be a close match, to say the absolute least. I already can feel that the Wolfpack supporters probably want to know our locations right about now. They're pulling up with the pitchforks.
Oh no! I told them.
I hear them knocking on the door. No, please. Oh my god! But we are waiting for them to. Oh, we do have the draft links actually. So we're just waiting for them to get started with that, so we can get this first game underway and just see what's going down here. But let's see. What else is there really even to talk about? Now I'm thinking about it. Any picks you want to see tonight? Salt? Anything in particular?
Jinx Zeri. I think both these picks are super valuable. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you flip it. Out of these picks, if you can get it B1, super impactful here. Both these champions have just been popping off recently, and they're still going to keep popping off. But on the other side of the mix here, I mean, you could also grab yourself a good jungler. Zinzao, Hecarim's still good. Olaf can be played in certain situations. I mean, that's things you got to look for here. But I think that you got to focus here on ADC and jungle. I think those picks are the ones that matter the most here. And just try and get yourself a good top matchup later down the line. But it's mostly just matchup dependent and realistically based on what the other laner picks or what's the safest blind pick.
Okay. Becky, anything you're kind of looking forward to? Anything you want to see? Or are you just trying to be surprised?
No, I mean, obviously, I'd want to see some spicy picks, but I understand that this is not draft. This is not VAD. Or these players are actually trying to win the game. So what we're gonna see is a little more standard play and a little more actual meta that you would see at the higher competitive league. So like Salt was talking about, we're gonna see a lot of focus on AD carry because Zeri and Jinx are insane. These champions are crazy. So there's a lot of focus, I would imagine, on those two, and then building compositions that enable them the best. Like I would like to see some enchanters, more enchanters than we've seen before, because despite the fact that these hyper carries are as prominent as they are, and as strong as they are, we still see a lot of Tom. We still see a lot of Nautilus.
Not a lot
of Tom. A lot of Thresh. We still see a lot of Leona. We see a lot of these engaged supports, and they work fine with Jinx. They're okay, but I feel like, especially, I don't remember which team has the support that actually like plays enchanters, but I hope they actually decide to bust out the enchanters, because I feel like they're so underrepresented, and there's a lot of utility that they could bring to the table. And also, I am a Sona fan, so I would love to see a Sona pick.
I mean, you might not see Sona tonight, but maybe Sona 2.0. I really think Seraphine with the buffs here, looking pretty solid. I've seen a few sports maxing the W as well, just getting that early healing online. And I just see how I saw last night how nutty that healing can be. It's really insane. So, I mean, Moonstone Renewal Plus.
Okay, hold up. I let these two boys off the leash, and now they're running with my show. Okay, so I gotta stop you there. This is my show. You all right? You will listen to me in this household. That being said, though, I will have to interrupt you because draft has begun. So you guys can just go ahead and see if your picks are coming out. We're gonna throw it over to the draft and get right into game one. Good luck, gentlemen.
Alrighty.
Okay, we are in this draft action. We already went through the bans. Jinx getting picked first for OSU, not too much of a surprise. Hecarim is going to come in as the jungler, as you were talking about, that priority jungle pick. And the response to the Jinx, and this is something we see a lot in the competitive leagues, is the Aphelios coming in as a response, using his ability with the high range to try and exploit Jinx's more weakness in the early game.
And I think Aphelios scales really well. I think he's stronger at 6 items than Jinx, but Jinx is a lot stronger from that 3 item to 4 item point. So once you get fully late game, I think Aphelios is stronger. But I mean, he's also very susceptible to ganks here, and the Nautilus is a big amount of setup there, but it also does allow them to pick that Aphelios Thresh, and Thresh has great synergy with with Aphelios, with Hecarim, anything along those lines here. But
yeah,
I mean,
the Thresh was banned. The Thresh was banned by Wolfpack. So they banned the Thresh and picked it, which is fine. Then the Volibear is going to come in. That is a pretty solid jungle option. Maybe not directly in response to the Hecarim, but going for those early ganks, Volibear is crazy if he doesn't get impeded by, like a Flay. And without the Thresh as an option, the Volibear has a lot more rain to get on Aphelios, but Janna might be able to keep him safe.
Very true. I think that Janna is a pretty solid answer here to both the Nautilus and the Volibear. I mean, with the Xin Zhao nerfs, I don't really think his priority is all that high anymore. I think he's still solid, but the nerfs hit pretty hard, especially when you're used to playing with that 5 seconds of, invincibility in your or outside of your little circle. So definitely something to see there. But the Corki was banned, and we are not seeing any mid lane picks. Like we said, it's all about the jungle, all about the ball lanes, and all of those have been picked up. And it's definitely not just Smite Janna top that has been nerfed to the ground through system updates rather than actually nerfing the champ. Rest in peace. I don't know about peace, man. I don't know about that.
Forever miss. Look, I didn't have to play against it, so it's just like a cool little neat thing for me. So I imagine if I played against it, I would have different opinions. But bans have come through. A lot of top lane focus here. The Camille, Gangplank, Shen, and Akali all getting banned away. I think the only one here that's a little surprising to me is the Shen, but that's only because it's like a little more odd than some traditional bans. I imagine there's a reason for it that I just am not aware of.
I mean, what I see here with these bans is every single one of them is a reasonable blind pick. Shen can be blind picked, pretty solid there. doesn't lose most lanes, can actually win some of them, and has that global pressure before that 14-minute mark when Unleashed teleport's available. GP also has that same presence. You can play really safe. You can just play with your barrels and stuff like that, and you can also take Fleet if you really need to, but Grasp also allows him to bully some of those melees, or even First Strike if it's a winning matchup, if that is picked. But the Akali, still strong, and I think she's a better top laner than mid laner, so solid ban there. And Camille...
But looking at mid laners, though, we've got Victor versus Ahri. Ahri did take a couple hits in this last patch. Her power got reined in a little bit, but I do still think she has some really excellent matchups here, and is a decent response to the Victor. Although, personally, I have a crusade against Ahri, because every time I see this champion, like, if I'm watching the game, she turbo-ins. Like, I don't know what it is, but when I'm not watching the game, I'll, like, check the post-match thread on Reddit. It's like, oh, Ahri went 10-1. Of course. Obviously. So I know this champ's good. I have not seen it, so I'm really hoping to see it here. And the Graves picked up as a jungle.
My thoughts on the Ahri here is... it's very good at doing its one thing, getting picks, but it just doesn't really do the damage as that solo AP carry that you have picked for yourselves on OSU. So you're not really looking for it to do the damage, but the Aurelia, we've seen it as a counter pick here for a lot of Graves top that we've seen. So we'll see if it does spark out here, but it is all on the skill of this Aurelia and potentially the pressure of the Hecarim. So this Graves most likely going to build that Hull Breaker. Me personally, I think it's pretty solid if you're only sticking to that split pushing role, and I think I've seen a lot of players just get baited into buying it just because they think it's really good. It's solid when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with it, and you know, just got, and it also, but it did get nerfed on ranged champion, specifically this patch, so that's something to keep in note. So we'll see what the Graves does build.
Yeah, it's something we will have to keep in mind on whether or not the Graves is going to build that Hull Breaker and go for the more split push oriented strategy, which is not bad, but Graves, as you mentioned, is really struggles with Irelia, because Irelia just eats range tops for breakfast. She obliterates them. So Graves is going to have an uphill battle here, and regardless of if he decides to go Hull Breaker or not, I do think he is going to struggle a little bit going into this lane. Now that we have seen the drafts, which team do you favor to go ahead and take this game one here, Salt?
I really like the comp coming in from Wolfpack, but I value the Jinx a little bit more than I do value the Aphelios Janna. And I also do like having just a go button. It's very reliable CC. The only reliable amount of CC on the side of Wolfpack is going to be that Hecarim, and that means he has to commit his entire body, and it can end up really, really scary, especially when there is a Jinx, there is a Graves. There's a lot of damage that can just instantly burst you. So, gotta be wary of that, but yeah, I'd gotta give it to OSU. I just think their draft is a little easier to execute on. They can just grab a pick with an Ahri Charm, and either the Aphelios... Oh, is there... That is not a Gwen. Either the Aphelios or the Victor, if either of them get caught up by a Charm, they should just instantly be dead and not allowed to play the game. So, definitely a lot easier to execute on.
It's going to be hard for Wolfpack to execute this one, but I think with the ceiling of their comp has some insane damage potential. If everything can align and they can come together, they can really showcase the strength of these individual champions and could take a runaway game, but it is going to be tough. Personally, I would have to agree with you. I do favor OSU's comp here just because it is so much easier to execute and it is so much more stable, right? It'll feel more consistent than Wolfpack's more high risk, high reward comp in this angle. But anything can happen, and the Wolfpack, they're screaming at the moon. They are ready to tear it up and bring Ohio State to their knees. But we'll have to see if they can do that when we go into game one. When we come back after our break, we'll see this game one between Ohio State and the Wolfpack. Stick around, you aren't going to want to miss it. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 1 between Ohio State University and the Wolfpack Caldera. And it looks like we have an invade going on here to start off the game from OSU. Coming into the red side jungle. I believe they walked through a ward, though.
They did. And it's
So
great defensive warding. It's pretty huge here.
Yeah,
Especially up against Nautilus.
Yep, they do know that this is happening, but looks like the Hecarim, I don't believe Hecarim was going to head up there. And oh, big value, Jornana Tato. Jornana Tato. Well, okay, look, all right, it's fine. The Janna Tornado, we are seeing that was some very nice particle effects. I love Glacial Augment's particle effects. They're so cool. The root is fine. It's iffy. But the particle effects when you actually proc it like that, ooh, beautiful.
Beautiful. That's what you love to see.
Yeah, but that aside, looks like from here on, it's going to be a standard start. Although I do see a ward from the red team at the red buff for OSU. So that is going to be more vision that the side of the Wolfpack have, and they're going to have a ton of information on BioGamer at the start of this early game.
And that's pretty huge because the Hecarim wants to avoid... Ooh, great NATO, though.
Coming in here, some more CC following up, just some rockets going to be trading here. Vanilla AD Carry is going to fire back a little bit, but overall, that was a good starting trade coming in from the Fluxetine with a bunch of weird stuff.
Every accent ever is there.
Looks, I respect it. You know, you gotta really flex on him. You want to make sure nobody can type your name in chat.
I know my alt codes. This guy's screwed.
Done. He's cooked.
It's over. It's just doomed. But as I was saying earlier, though, having that information on BioGamer is going to be huge. Hecarim just wants to power farm, get that level 6 so he can get those ganks to roll. And sure, the Graves wants to power farm, but having that engage, having that big horsey not being super untanky. Oh, but good gank.
We have a gank coming in here, but the charm is not going to land. Hex is going to flash out. And that is going to be a trade of flashes, actually. Hunt for Value would flash as well there. So that is a little unfortunate. Trade in the top lane now. Irelia is going to be looking to get the stun down here. Will connect. Going to be trying to get a little bit of damage here. Conqueror is now stacked. Mookub's going to back out and sort of just stay in the bush. And that is going to be the disengage there. But Hecarim is in the lane, potentially looking for either an engage on top or to get just the Scuttle Crab, because it is up. Yeah, it looks like he will be going for the Scuttle Crab.
Just having the top prio just allows him to grab that. And again, avoiding the Graves is super important, so the fact that he has that big prio and knew that he probably went bot side after that gank towards the mid is pretty solid there, but we do see the bot lane rotating up as well. They are going to probably try and grab this Scuttle Crab, or at least grab some vision and help out the Graves in that way. But Mookub, you know, having a pretty solid lane here for himself.
Yeah,
so
for
he's
the
going to
most part, although we have a gank coming in here from Gaev, random taking a tower shot. Now Mookub is actually going to be firing back, gets the stun, locks Jin under tower, does go down, but will trade one back. First blood going over to Guy of Random.
And as Mookub, you take that. I mean, sure, the Hecarim got a kill, but you're now in the lead in the super volatile lane. Volibear and Aurelia, it's a very skilled matchup on both sides, but the fact that the Volibear gets this first kill is really huge for him. If the Aurelia got it, it would have been even, so it would have been fine here. But this Volibear already has that Bramble Vest and can trade super aggressively. And once he gets that Sheen rolling, or even he could even go the tank build if he wants as well. But that Bramble Vest is going to be huge here. The healing cut is mainly what Aurelia's scared of.
Especially since Jin has rushed the Vamp Scepter here.
Oh my.
Uh-oh. Team-wide DDoS? What? Wait, did Ohio State's internet go down? Oh no! Oh no! I didn't think about this. They're a university. They're probably all playing in the same room. Oh no. Alright, who ordered the hit? Who was it?
Yep.
Who in chat? Raise your hands. Wolfpack gamers? Alright.
That is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Man, now my spectates. Frozen.
Yeah, it's the little buffer thing that's still in the game for some reason. I don't know why. I think that it's really not great from Riot Games, but what can you expect? Small indie company, am I right? But
No, that's
yeah.
actually it's understandable. Understandable.
But we
Okay.
see this Hecarim farming up pretty solidly. Hasn't taken this base yet, so he's looking for a pretty good clear path back up to the top side once
Okay,
those wolves spawn in. Yep, we're going again.
We're back in
I
the
hope we're in sync.
action. I hope that everything's fine. They did all get to take a nice little trip back to the fountain, but overall that's not going to be too big of a disadvantage here. 2 stuns being traded in the top lane, but Mukub coming out on top here. This Volibear damage is pretty crazy considering he has exactly a Doran's ring for his damage items.
Oh no, I froze a little bit, but
yeah, but it's fine. It is fine now, and the dragon is going to be picked up. That's the only person who's not fine here for the in this game is this poor mountain dragon going to get shot down by BioGamer. First one going over to OSU. Guy of Random looking for a response potentially on top lane, but instead is just going to go back to farm.
There's just no play to look for. You can't really gank this volley. He can potentially 2v1 this, or 1v2 this and look solid. So, you gotta be wary of this. Volibear, the sustain is pretty crazy from that W. It does a lot. It heals quite a bit, especially as he gets lower and lower. So the Hecarim just has to look to try and grab some camps up in the top side. Not looking for an invade either because of the mid prio that has been gained.
Yep.
Which is pretty interesting. I would have liked to see him at least try and attempt to grab that Gromp. The Victor did have shove at that point.
Oh, a huge trade onto the Irelia. The Thunder getting dropped. Lethal is on the table, potentially. Guy of Random is hanging in the wings, but does run into a ward. Is going to get spotted out. Mukub going to back out a little bit. More lightning crashing down, but they're just going to be staring at each other. They're smelling blood, and I'm getting a little scared. Here comes the stun. The damage reduction is going to come out. Here's another stun in response from Jhin. Here comes the damage out. The ulti from Volibear, the Stormbreaker, going to try and break these storms, but instead is just going to break some minions. They disengage each other, and Mukub holds the wave and now is going to look to potentially freeze onto Jhin.
Ooh, and that's going to feel pretty good. He's going to grab that freeze up, and the Aurelia is going to be forced to stay here, but look who's up in this top side, and look who has no wards.
Yeah, no, there is no vision up here.
Oh, he walked over that one.
At all, but BioGamer is going to walk into that ward, so they do know roughly where he is and potentially where he will go. And we are going to go to another sepia tone screen, enjoying a lovely pause.
Seen this one a lot today.
Yep. You can tell how long the pauses has happened because we have 30 minutes of pause time in total. We have spent 4 minutes paused.
Yep. Just how it is, I guess.
All right, who is it this time?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Well, while everything's frozen, I did want to ask, in terms of looking at how these players have decided to build the glacial augment on Nautilus, I want to ask your opinion on it. Is this cope or is this real?
This is real. I think it's okay. And he's not the only tank on the team. There's a frontliner as well, so he does not need to just be primary engaging to be as tanky as possible. And I also am a believer in Glacial Augment scaling better than Aftershock.
Ooh.
Just the damage reduction, especially if he's able to land a hook, not even on the Victor, but near the Victor and Aphelios.
Random may have tried to exploit this found hook. The ulti's going to come in from Hecarim. The Onslaught of Shadows is going to make Jinx see her own, get scared, and hide in a hole once we get out of this fun buffer pause.
Yep. Exhaust copium feels bad.
Exhaust copium. That's called the exhaust of hope. You put it on the guy while you're surrounded by 3 people and 18 minions. It's like, I can live this.
Livable.
And unfortunately, this is not livable, but will it be livable for Professor Hex trying to stay here, trade back as much as possible, but the damage is insane, and the damage is insane on this Irelia as she is looking to take this fight and cleans up Mukub. Across the map, we have a 2-for-1 in favor of the Wolfpack.
Ollie had no mana, so he's just not able to sustain his way through that fight. That's how he wins, through his big amount of sustain with that big bite, that big chomp. Just doesn't have any mana, and he loses that fight up on the top side. But yeah, the Exhaustive Hope, as we were talking about earlier, just does you know, the Jinx, you know, you gotta try. You gotta make an attempt. Doesn't flash, which is smart. There's no way she gets out of that one. The exhaust maybe buys her a little bit of time, but this Hecarim here, farming it pretty solidly as well. Still ahead of the Graves, which is pretty interesting to see. Graves does farm really well, really fast, but Hecarim farms well as well. But we see this Rift Herald being picked up here because of the plays happening down at the bot side. They are going to be able to grapple this Rift Herald and potentially use it either in the mid lane or in the top lane. Either or is fine at this point. I don't think you should be using it in the bottom lane right now. It's in a little bit of a rough spot.
Yeah, no, there's no real reason to use it into the bot lane quite yet. Perhaps if they pick up second Herald, that may be when you start wanting to drop a Herald down there. If more plates get taken or if more pressure is found on the bot side of the map. But I think helping getting Volibear a bit more gold or helping getting Ahri a bit more gold is a fantastic idea from BioGamer if they decided to drop this Herald anytime soon, but I've noticed a lot of junglers just like to hold on to it for the fastbacks, so hopefully he remembers to use it. But otherwise, we have an ulti coming out here from Irelia. Break their lines. The only line getting broken is the minion line. Guy of Random being dashing into this one, but does not have the CC to lock down Mukub. Mukub gonna waltz away from this one. Jin's gonna try and close the gap. No stun up. The stun is gonna land. Really great movement there. Gonna respond with the ulti, and the damage is gonna fire back down. The tower is putting in insane work here, protecting Mukub, and Mukub is gonna stay alive with that one, but the minions are on the hunt, and they may allow Irelia to... Ooh. Mukub.
I am slightly behind, unfortunately, but all things considered, though, things are looking good for Mukub. Sure, he's going to lose a little bit, but he did survive that gank. We've seen this pressure just applied up in the top side. Most of the ganks, other than that one in the bot side, or at least presence, jungle proximity, has been up in this top side. Aurelia, though, grabbing up 2 plates, has a pretty solid gold advantage, but this Volibear is playing about as well as he can be, considering the jungle proximity.
Yeah, no, Volibear's just going to trying to stabilize right here, because for the most part, like, Volibear, if he got like a bunch of gold and he smashes lane, that's not. It's certainly a good thing, but it's not significantly more effective than like normal Volibear play.
Oh my!
Oh, great! Here we are again. My favorite pause. You know, what? Great. All right. So this is where we start the Genshin podcast, right?
True. True. This is where we start it. This is where we start it.
I would not be able to participate in this. I know nothing about Genshin. I've never played it. Look, I know that gacha happens. You were talking about cupcakes. I don't know what's going on with cupcakes. Like I don't think I want to know what's going on with cupcake tins. I know they're delicious, but it's above me.
It's an arcane buff, I guess. Cupcakes are always great. Thank you, Arcane, for that one. But I mean, this is just really unfortunate for the side of OSU. They're just struggling here with the interwebs, not having a great time there. Maybe internet bills have not been paid or something. Feels bad.
The whole university has decided to forego their training.
Hey, I mean, university internet not that great. I'm gonna be real.
That is true. Oh, play will resume. Never mind, this was a lie.
This is a lie.
I was so excited. Oh my god. Both teams lagging. Oh, mamma mia.
Okay, this is... I mean, there's not really much that we could... I mean, I wish both teams the best here, but, I mean, taking a look at things here, OSU is clearly at a disadvantage. CS numbers are definitely in the favor of... in the favor of the Wolfpack. Oh, okay. We're live.
Yeah, we're cracked in. All right, I'm at 1040 right now. Just so you know.
I'm behind by 2 seconds. 6.
Okay.
7.
All right.
8.
All right. What are your favorite numbers, chat? Tell me your favorite numbers as we observe this Baron being taken here. Vision not actually in control for the Wolfpack, and here comes OSU looking to try and do something. The ultimate from Aphelios is going to crash down onto BioGamer. The unstoppable onslaught doesn't find anybody. Here comes the response from Nautilus. Going to knock people up. Going to get the CC down. The Chaos Storm's going to get a ton of damage onto Blue, forcing them out of this fight. The Dragon's still aggroed here onto BioGamer. Dragon's finding somebody to hit. And ooh, the Dredge line. Going to force a flash out of Vanilla 80 Carry. The hunt for value is the big hunt right here. Going down onto Vanilla 80 Carry. Going to get picked up. The Herald is going to get dropped in this fight. Now Shelly's in the mix. And we have an exciting dragon take. That was not a Baron, that was a dragon, but Irelia may be the real threat in this situation going in here, but getting CC chained by the point and click charm. Not exactly point and click, but you know how it is. You know how it is. You walk in a straight line, it's a very easy target, and that is going to be a pick up from the side of OSU, getting the second dragon, a couple of kills, and a couple of plates in mid lane.
They take those, and that does push them just slightly ahead there in the gold lead because of that big play there. So, I mean, they were quite a bit behind before this play, so they are able to just save the game a little bit there. So that's really good for them, and they pick up that second dragon. So that's a dragon buffer that they can use now and buy themselves some more time. It is going to be that Infernal Soul, which is really strong on either team. A lot of them love AP and AD ratios, so they're chilling. They really want to get either these dragons, or either team wants these souls, but I mean, the little buffer helps out a lot, especially since they are a little bit behind the CS department. They can just give up 1 or 2 dragons and farm up. And that's pretty huge, especially when they have carries like that Jinx and that Graves coming into this late game. And they can always just look to make picks on rotations with that Ari or Nautilus as well.
Yeah, no, this is OSU. They were in a pretty rough spot before we saw the infinite pauses. But now that we're back into the game, they're able to pull out that dragon fight there and start clawing back the advantage that they were losing, and they're putting themselves in a really good spot going into later in the game, because they can start slowing it down. They don't need to take as many rough fights for like ambitious dragon plays. They can just look to farm, look to peacefully PvE, and pick up as many picks as possible. But it looks like Hecarim may be trying to find one of his own, speeding in the background. Gonna get warded out and spotted out here. Ari looks like she's going to be roaming down to the bot lane, responding to this.
Wave's not big enough to dive.
Yeah,
ooh, nice try.
Yeah, not quite an easy enough dive here. Ari is gonna find this vision, just look to clear out a ward, and the potential dive has been thwarted.
And just good coverage there from the mid laner. They know they can't really take it or take the dive just because there's a lot of instant CC. They have a Nautilus, they have an Ahri, they can one-tap anyone. Even this Hecarim, who has that chem tank, is still not as tanky as he could be. He doesn't have a death stance or an armor or amplifier item.
We've got a death bush, and Blue has no idea! Here comes the unstoppable onslaught, here comes the damage! You got no hope, buddy! Go back to the fountain. Blue is gonna get taken down, but the death bush has been responded to! You got one of your own! That's gonna be a 1-for-1
Wait, that's
overall.
On Aphelios. I just realized this. That is, I mean, I guess it's fine, because it is a lot of upfront damage coming through on the side of OSU. They want to look for that pick, and having bone plating on Aphelios, hey, you take those. But Janna, unfortunately, is very, very squishy. Even with the Resolve tree, she does not have much armor, she does not have MR or health, so she just gets one-tapped by literally anything. A gust of wind, no pun intended, will just blow her away.
Yeah, no, she gets certainly blown up if anything mildly threatening comes her way, but the big threat may be up in the top lane right now. Mukub getting a huge trade down here onto Jhin, but Jhin is stacked up and deciding to just get out of this one, dropping the ulti there. And now Vanilla AD carry, the exhaust getting traded here. This is not exhaust of hope, this is an exhaust of chaos. As both AD carries are trading that out and trading a number of cooldowns, and just in time, Another pause. As we watch Herald gracefully charge forward, and wow, amazing. Observing around this pit, you do see the Wolfpack setting up to respond here, but they do not have a lot of vision around it, so it is going to be hard when we unpause here for them to get in this pit.
They also don't have any ultimates to engage with. They don't have the Vanguard's Edge. They don't have the Onslaught of Shadows. They don't even have the Moonlight Vigil with Gravgun. So they don't really have a way in to this fight. Meanwhile, they still have the Spirit Rush on the Ahri. They have the Death Charge on the Nautilus. And no collateral damage or Stormbringer on the Volley. But, I mean, the Depth Charge is enough. And you have Spirit Rush to reposition and land those charms. So it's a weird fight that they are looking to potentially contest, especially with these key ultimates down. I don't know how I feel about that, and they also have no vision, like you said. Very blind setup coming through. So can they make it happen, or are they just going to collapse on the volley? If you take a look at the positioning there, the Janna and the Aurelia are pretty close. They could maybe make something happen, but we're coming back into the game in just a second.
Yeah, well, hopefully this will be not a lie, and it'll be real.
No,
Of
it's a
course, it's
lie.
a lie. You know, Riot has been lying to me all day. You see, I think this stops the timer for like the game, like the pause timer. So the pause timer is not going down, but we are still paused,
Yep.
which is
That's Riot.
fantastic. Oh boy, what a blast! What a just excellent time. Okay,
Here
we'll
we
see
go.
how this Herald plays out right here. It looks like nothing's going to happen.
Is it going to be the Janna level 1 tornado steal? Question mark.
Ooh, maybe the blood water for my boomers out there in the audience. So that was a Baron steal.
It was a Baron steal, but I mean,
Was not stolen there. Unfortunately, blood water not on the side of the Wolfpack. Will just be picked
Oh,
up and
it's
secured by
red white
BioGamer.
done.
Yeah, it's
On
red, white.
tower, just
Ooh, yeah.
shreds it instantly.
Yeah, when we get back into this, the shred is coming down. The Jinx ulti's going to do a little bit of damage here. Ooh, I don't think that Zap got that cannon minion.
No, it didn't.
So that not only do you lose a tower, you just look set. You just look bad. You're
Omega lol
sad.
N.
Can Omega lol N. The classic miss, you know. Make
Yep.
sure to mark that one down in the VOD review. You can start flaming him for missing a cannon.
The 20 seconds there, or just under that, on the Dragon coming up real shortly here, and both teams really want this one. Third Drake of the game, very important here. It can swing momentum, or it could just secure themselves a soul point and an even larger buffer. So getting this Dragon's really important. Sure, one Infernal doesn't really feel all that bad to play against, but as they start stacking, so it's very important. Oh, they're just giving it. Never mind.
OSU are just going to pick this one up very cleanly. The Wolfpack's not even going to try and contest it. The pings are coming out, but they're showing up way too late for that. And now OSU is going to maybe look to try and convert into a fight on mid. Hunt for Value is going to be hunting for this charm here. Does not quite land. Mukub is going to find Guy of Random in the jungle, stunning them up. The CC chain goes down. The Zap doesn't finish it off, but Volibear does. And now Hunt for Value is going to be dashing in on to Victor, not hitting the charm. Victor's going to be walking out of this one. That's 5 members crashing into this turret with the help of Shelly and Vanilla 80 carries on the wings. That's a 5-man Janna tornado, but the value is not quite great as the Chaos Storm goes down. The AoE damage is insane, and now Jin's going to be looking to clean this one up. The health bars are insanely low on the side of OSU, and they need to find a way out of this one without getting spotted. The blue trinket will see BioGamer on the retreat, but they will not be able to catch up here, and it looks like the three of them will get out of this, but they do secure the mid lane turret.
Getting that turret feels pretty good, and that mid tier 2 is also just at 1 HP. If they're able to get that wave shove, eventually they will be able to take it down. But it is up against Victor, who has some of the strongest and safest wave clear in the game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit before they can actually take this tier 1, or tier 2, sorry, but it's still really risky for this Victor to even try and walk up and grab that tier 1 all on his own. Again, pick comp. You have an Nautilus, you have an Ahri, and if they're out of vision, you gotta play like they're there.
Yeah, I know, you can't be walking into these blind death bushes because you will die instantly. This is not a joke. You actually just disappear, and they have to start playing safe around that. And I wanted to point out, because I just noticed this, the Hull Breaker has been finished on Mukub. Do not know when he picked that one up.
That was his first
buy. Not necessarily matter. Ooh, we have the Nautilus coming in here, standing around, but Mukub's actually going to be the one fighting here on the front lines. Going to get stunned up. Damage is going to fire back, but the Stormbringer brings the lightning and the thunder, dropping that one down, taking out Guy of Random and maintaining position in the river here. Jin's going to try and fight this one out, dropping down the ulti. Nautilus is in the bush, waiting in the wings. The Ignite's going to go down, trying to further reduce the healing onto Irelia because she's going to keep firing at auto attack. She is stacked up. The ulti will come down from Nautilus, sending her skyward and down into the abyss.
Yep. And that's just greedy there. You are ignited. You really shouldn't be walking up any further after you got that Nautilus summoner spell. That's fine. You take those. Just walk away. But, I mean, it's an Aurelia. You gotta look for the play. You know, gotta be flashy. That's why you play that champ. That's why you pick it. But it's that greed, and unfortunately, that's very unfortunate for Jin. Not able to find anything there. But Hecarim, though, pretty solid, pretty strong. But he's not as tanky as he thinks he is. He's getting one shot. He gets hooked and dies. So Chem Tank, yes, it looks pretty solid, but the reason why you go Chem Tank is so you can go Phase Rush, so you can get out of those sticky situations. You get that slow resist. You get that burst of insane movement speed. And the Conqueror just doesn't really provide that. If you're going the Conqueror build, you might as well be going Sunder or Triforce.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Absolutely. Chem Tank is not a super great item compared to the other tank items unless you're utilizing and abusing the move speed boost it gives you. And Hecarim is very good at doing that. But like you said, the phase rush is vital with this item because when you're going in with your whole face, you need a way out. And the way out is just to run really fast. And it looks like Jin is going to have Hunt for Value run really fast away from this one. Just doing a little bit of trading up in the top lane. However, there are a lot of members hanging around here. Biogamer dropping the bean can onto Jin. Nautilus behind them, potentially going to look and convert into a top tower pretty soon. The Baron has spawned, but not a whole lot here. And instead, the response is just to push down mid. And here comes the that was almost a pick. The root coming down onto OSU Blue, but that is Gale Force down for Vanilla AD carry for the time being. It will likely be back up before the next fight because that will likely be the Dragon, which will be coming up in about 45 seconds. I actually do not know if the Gale Force will be up.
It won't be up. It will not be up. He does not have Ingenious Hunter because he did not go Red Tree, did not go Domination. So it's not going to be up when this Dragon does spawn. So he's vulnerable for that little bit of time. And I don't think the Jinx went it either. I can go verify that real quick. She did not go Ingenious Hunter either. So neither of them will have their Gale Forces available. So they got to be a little vigilant here. They got to be wary of where they're positioning now, a little bit safer. But Gale Force, though, does give Aphelios that huge amount of kill pressure, but Aurelia's just split pushing in the top side.
Yeah, the Hullbreaker on the Aurelia, both top laners taking this Hullbreaker to just try and break down these turrets and create some pressure. And now the positioning for this Dragon is very good for the Wolfpack, and OSU are going to be fighting an uphill battle trying to get into this one unless they can be some really good pick going on. Going to get leashed by Biogamer. Damage is coming down. Teleport's going to be coming in. The lockdown onto Victor, but there's no response. Onslaught of Shadows sends the message that you need to get out of this one, but Volibear is going to scream in response, but the damage just coming out from Vanilla AD carry. The ulti from Jin as well, going to keep them down. Blue is going to be running for the hills. The exhaust of hope gives the little bit of hope that OSU wanted to try and win this fight, but the damage is too much, and now Blue is going to try and get out of here, but Victor is insanely fast, just going to drop a gear and take him down. That is 3 for 1 and a Dragon picked up by the Wolfpack.
And even though the kill advantage is in favor of OSU, they're still behind in gold. It's the CS, 30 CS up at the top side, almost 20 CS up in the mid lane, and a good 30 lead in the bot side as well. So they're ahead in CS, they're ahead in towers, and they're looking to break this tier 2 as well. And they're going to grab that very, very easily. They also have control of that red side quadrant down in the bot side. They're going to look to grab those camps up, deny all of those camps, raid the forest, grab those, and get out of here as fast as possible for this Baron that is up now. They could look for it, but it's not really a necessity. They just need to try and keep vision on it so that there is no sneaky shenanigans going on from OSU.
Yeah, you don't want to see any sneak going on here, and the Jinx is capable of putting out the DPS needed to sneak it, but I don't believe that OSU's comp is good enough to sneak it that fast. I would believe that the Wolfpack's comp could sneak it, because, Aurelia, Hecarim, Aphelios, red, white.
A lot of shred.
So much shred going on here. Speaking of shred, we may see that coming down here. The tornado's going to keep Nautilus in the air. Vanilla AD carry, so much shielding coming down with the Janna, and that damage is huge. Nautilus will get out of that one with the hook. Just getting to safety. The bean can getting dropped, but there is not a whole lot of vision left for the side of OSU on this Baron, and now they got to start wondering, could they be taking it?
They definitely could. They have the Aurelia down the bot side, but they don't have her TP, and that's something to worry about here. They do have Mookubs, though.
Biogamer is in trouble here. Onslaught Shadow is going to lock down both of them. The ulti from Aphelios is huge, but on the back of this fight, the Jinx and the Nautilus are going to try and lock down the Janna, but she is Janna. She's going to keep herself alive, and you are going to be in trouble. But now, on the bot side of the map, Mookub is fighting Jin and just going to slam dunk that Aurelia into next week. But it does not necessarily matter, because that is 2 for 1, and the one that's not there wasn't even there to begin with. And this Baron is going to potentially be going over to the Wolfpack. Nautilus is going to be stepping up. He's going to look into hook. He's going to get the hook onto the Victor. Zap doesn't quite finish him off. He's going to get taken down. Mukub's going to try and get into this fight, but it's 4v2, and OSU Blue is going to actually manage to scare them off. The threat of these two members with the health bar so low on the Wolfpack is going to stop the Baron.
Stopping that Baron's very important. It buys them a little bit of space, a little bit of breathing room, especially since their wave clear is not the greatest, especially with the Jinx build that they have. Gale Force, Rapid Fire, not really great at that wave clear, but I mean, it was a really risky walk-up, really risky TP, but they're just not able to capitalize because of the Baron shred. Not able to turn on the volley bear. They do grab that Nautilus, but you trade that to stop the Baron every day of the week as a support. You're more than happy to take that trade there. And Dragon's up in just a minute 40, so these teams should be trying to get some vision set up here and potentially look for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be Soul. That's gonna be Soul over to the side of OSU. If they can manage to pick up this Infernal Drake, and that is gonna be huge for this Jinx as she is continuing to pick up items, finish the Rapid Fire Canyon, and now has the Crit Cloak. We'll be looking to build that third item eventually. Aphelios is actually definitely ahead in gold. Very easily ahead in gold.
Oh, yes.
Not quite an item, but likely will be backing to pick that one up. I'm guessing it will be the Bloodthirster on this back, which is very nice to see here. Volibear has completed the Triforce at some point. Don't know when that was, but I like the Triforce. You don't see it very often, but I think if you're going to be splitting, it is a very good option.
Oh, no.
This option may be in danger here. Hunt for Value is going to try and get out of this one. The charm only delays so long. Jhin is huge. Jhin is breaking these holes and breaking these skulls, taking down the Ahri, but maybe in danger here. BioGamer gonna look to drop the bean can. The stun follows up as well, and Jhin is gonna go down in response. That is 1-for-1, but positioning for the Dragon is now in favor of the Wolfpack because OSU is gonna have to walk. Yeah, Janna's out of position here, but they're just going to be walking into this one. They have no idea this bush is even happening. Blue is going to drop down. The Zap gonna be able to flash away from the onslaught of shadows, but the damage onto Nautilus is way too big. Mukub's going to try and tank up as much as possible, but there is so much damage and so much shred that Mukub can only tank up so much. Even under the ulti, gets completely obliterated, and that is 2-for-0, and the second Dragon will be picked up for the side of the Wolfpack.
They sniffed it out, but they still get one shot anyways. The Jinx had to burn her flash. Still had Gale Force up as well, but the Nautilus just not tanky. Is going to get shredded instantly. I mean, it's hard to itemize into double carries. Into the Victor, into the Aphelios. There's just no safe resistance path that you can take, but they are going to look for this Baron. They have great guns for it. Red-White and a Victor.
Yeah, Red-White and Victor just going to be shredding this one down. They know what's going on. The pings are coming out, but that's not going to mean a whole lot because they cannot get into this fight. They're going to be hoping for a Miracle Steal, potentially. Graves dropping the bean can, looking to try and get into those, maybe go for a steal. He secures it. BioGamer taking down that Baron, going down in response, and now the Wolfpack are going to try and do something to get back this lost time that they just lost it. They just lost the Baron. They just missed it.
They missed my 21 HP. That was the threshold. That was what was left.
Oh, no. That's gotta feel bad. I do not know if Hecarim had smited it there, because smite was almost off cooldown for him at after the Baron got smote. I don't know like if he used it early or if he just missed it. I didn't quite catch when the smites were dropped, but that doesn't really matter.
There were 2 smite sounds. Okay. So both of them did smite. It was the 21 HP one that got it though.
Oh yeah, you gotta be counting, but when everybody's hitting it, it's really hard to get that timing.
I mean, it's too late to stop the burst. So you just everyone use all your abilities, burst. Try and get it as low as possible. Yeah. Try to mess up the other jungler's count. That's how you play those 50 burger flips out. You have to try and force the enemy jungler to smite early by bursting it down as fast as possible. Unfortunately, the burger flip did go in favor of OSU in this situation, even though it was a steal, or because it was a steal.
Yeah, BioGamer's burger flip landed cheese side up, taking that Baron for the side of OSU. 4 members have it right now, and it helps them start to, stop the Wolfpack here, because Wolfpack were on a tear for a little while there. And now with the Baron, they have a little bit more control over the map and are able to get out here, start clearing vision, start getting wards down, and looking to just get pressure just in general. Just general pressure and get some control over the map when more objectives eventually spawn, but that is going to be quite a while.
Ow.
Ow. Also, ow. Yeah, no, that hurt a little bit. You know, that definitely was not ideal. This Ahri is working on the Zhonya's right now, but I don't know if the Zhonya's is definitely necessary with all the dive that they have, but like the armor on it is unbelievably cope. It doesn't do anything anymore. It used to
just
be good.
the best active in the game. That's why you go Zhonya's.
Yeah, no, that is why 80 carries go Zhonya's, is because the stopwatch is insanely good. The time you buy is crazy. But man, that armor is like, oh, I have armor, I'm safe now. No, you're not.
Not with Aphelios' inbuilt lethality. No, you are not.
Yeah, he will just demolish you. And he has Lord Doms. It's just, whew.
One thing of note, though, Volibear has picked up that Death's Dance, so that's just a lot more effective HP. That's about 30% more in the first 3 seconds of a fight.
Nautilus doesn't know, and Nautilus isn't able to protect Ahri. Gonna be having to Spirit Rush out of that one. Responding with the Q doesn't land. That's just gonna be a little bit of that was a very jump scare. That was a jump scare for sure, but not a whole lot else.
That was a little bit of a jump scare.
Yeah, maybe give the Nautilus a heart attack. We're going for that kind of strategy, but otherwise there is still vision here.
1 minute on the Drake again.
Yeah, 1 minute on the Drake. Mookub getting this push in on the top lane. I think does the Aurelia have more health than the Volibear right now?
Yes, Volibear's base HP is actually quite low. And
Wow.
2695 versus 28, so it's 200 more HP.
Okay.
But don't forget, the Volibear gets 400 from his ultimate.
Yeah, he's likely, maybe not likely, because he's
just
not gonna use it. Oh, the lockdown's gonna come in, and now Guy of Random's gonna be in a bit of danger. Great disengage from the Janna. Here come the teleports down, but Jhin is not gonna have the backup needed. They're gonna try and get this one out, but the damage coming in from Aphelios manages to shred the front line, but now Aphelios himself is getting shredded by the Volibear. The kills are gonna get traded back. Tornado's gonna land down. They're low health bars on both teams, looking to try and secure this one, but the tanks on the side of OSU are both down, and it's just going to be Malcolm and his bean can looking to keep the team safe, while Guy of Random is looking real chunky over here, looking to potentially get something down. Blue is going to fire a couple rockets and maybe get a little bit of damage here. They're going to leash the dragon here, just taking a free hit onto Ahri. They do not have the tankiness. The dash into the charm doesn't go through. Jinx is going to step up. Jinx is going to go down a little too ambitious, and that ambition is going to cost you when your team falters and the dragon is lost to the side of the Wolfpack, unless Biogamer can make some magic happen, pull out some miracles. Malcolm dropping the gun, dropping the hammer, and bringing out this pain. And okay, never mind. This is now, we're burger flipping again. Guy of Randoms at low HP. Yeah, Guy of Randoms at low HP. Professor Hex and Jhin are on the way. Nautilus is going to try and just lock Guy of Random out of this, dropping down the depth charge into the combo. Ton of damage coming down here, but Jhin is in this fight, and Jhin is going crazy. Full HP bars, able to shred this one down, and Professor Hex, and now the Dragon's going back over to the Wolfpack. But Nautilus is coming around, he's going to flash over the wall. He's going to look to try and secure this with the slam dunk, baby. That is an Infernal Drake getting picked up by Mookub in this fight. He's going to take that Irelia. Now Professor Hex is going to have to try and run out of hit down here, but the Thunder is going to crash, and the slam is going to go down. And in just a moment, Professor Hex is going to have to think about his life choices in the Death Chamber as Mookub saves that Dragon and gets OSU in a great spot.
Mookub is the McDonald's Employee of the Year with that steal right there. The burger flip went in favor of the Volibear. Both junglers were dead. It was a pure 50-50, but the Volibear with the Triforce Burst is able to take it down with a big Grand Slam and an auto.
Yeah, no, the slam dunk coming down in from Volibear, securing that one. You love to see it, and that is the soul going over to OSU, and they gotta feel good about that one. They gotta feel really good about having that soul, especially the Jinx. Her damage is gonna be huge, and I was shocked at how much damage Graves had there. That was insane. I was not expecting him to live, and then he just killed 2 people and was at full HP. Man, this champ. Oh, I love him so much. Oh, I love Graves.
He has Death's Dance, so much AD. He's just regenning so much after every reset.
Oh yeah, now the burger flip. The burger flip may be coming back down. The last play is going to get locked down, but Onslaught of Shadows is up. 2,000, 1,000, smoked by Bio Gamer. You can't beat the McDonald's Employee of the Year, Gaia Random. You're just a Burger King dishwasher, and you got to get out of this one because you're down, and your team's in trouble, buddy. It's not looking good.
He has to go for that steal attempt, though. They just have so much pressure now. Infernal Soul means their poke from long range with the Jinx is just so insane.
Ouch.
And that's the bone plating.
That hurt me. You know, that did splash damage. It definitely does not feel good to try and deal with this siege coming in here from the Jinx. And if Ahri can land a charm, I'm pretty sure everybody's dead.
No.
Oh, the Moonlight Vigil doesn't quite connect there. There is some damage coming down from Vanilla 80 carry. Good snipes with the Q, but the turret will be secured, and there are minions on the bot side. The wave is not in favor of them on the top side. Jin's going to be taking quite a bit of damage walking up to the front of this fight, but otherwise it's just going to be a disengage from OSU as they look to move around the map.
Yeah, and waves are not in the greatest position apart from that mid wave that they were able to shove out. They could go for the bot one, but it's a little risky with everyone alive. They can just run there. TPs are available on both the Victor and the Aurelia, so they can still look for plays there. They're just going to look to base, grab some camps, grab some gold, get their items. They are still behind the CS department all around the board. So they're not ahead there, but they are able to secure these objectives. They do have 800 gold worth of stats on every single player because of the soul and the passive, as well as just a little bit more damage to add on top of that. Little cherry on top. So Elder up in just under 3 minutes. Baron going to be spawning in 4. So, I mean, is it going to be another 50-50? I think that's what these teams are both looking for. They're just looking to try and coin flip the game at every single objective.
Yeah, this is really... We're really gambling today, that's for sure.
Oh, it's a gamble.
Yeah, both teams are gambling. They weren't getting enough gotcha action. They decided to bring it into their League of Legends game and see if they can get the big pull they want or if they're just going to die a noob and penniless, maidenless, you know.
Maidenless.
How will this
no
game
maiden,
end?
man.
No maidens. That feel when no maidens. And no top lane inner turret as...
600 gold.
Yeah, Mukumb's taking that one down. 600 gold. The gold lead now nearly 4,000 in favor of OSU. They're posturing around here, but not a whole lot up quite yet. It's like 20 minutes on the Elder Drake now, but they have total control of this map as the Wolfpack are looking to gonna just try and claw back out of their base and look for something.
Just look at the vision line, though. They don't have anywhere to walk where they're not spotted. Oh,
and this is going to be Janna spotted, and that's 1,000,000 damage. The shield and the flash of hope going into the ultimate, going to barely keep her. Oh, just kidding. Blue had you in their sights, and that is a super mega death rocket. Bringing the pain.
Yeah, that's a great snipe. That's pretty huge. Oh!
Here comes another charm, and here comes even more damage. Volibear, this man is huge, and he's looking to just cause mayhem in the mid lane, smacking down this inhib. Jin has looking for the Hashinshin play in the top lane, split pushing while the base is crumbling. A very curious choice. The hook flash, hook, depth charge on to Aphelios, he's going down. Now Hecarim will follow as well. Irelia is teleported into the fight. She's going to get a huge ultimate here, but she's going to have to try and convert it into something else. Landing a 4-man stun, but there is nobody to follow that up. Professor Hex is back in the base. He's licking his wounds, and this game is going to be down in just any time. Going over to OSU, picking up one more kill, looking to just pad these stats as they crash down this Nexus and take game 1 of the series.
That's just a great look coming through from OSU. They were down behind in the early game, but they were able to pull it back using that dragon buffer that they did have. They had to give up 2, but they're able to claim the soul and win the game through that win condition. They also scale so incredibly well with that Jinx. They have that range advantage. The Victor was popping off as well on the other side of the team, but it was not enough, and it was just these burger flips. The entire game, the entire theme is just McDonald's. That's it.
We're going to McDonald Land. That's where this game was. And I'm grimacing for sure at some of those steals. It's making me feel really
Man.
sad.
Yeah.
Actual hamburgling going on right now.
Yep. That's the game. It was just a burger flip all over the top lane, mid lane, everywhere, just flipping everything. It was, I mean, well played though. They saw their opportunities. I mean, I think for the first Baron steal, which is the most disheartening that could have ever happened in the history of Baron steals, 21 HP. They made the right call. They just lost the coin flip, and
Yeah.
that is just unbelievably unfortunate there.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes you win the
yeah.
coin flip, sometimes you lose the coin flip. But I want to know Echo's thoughts. If we can throw
Mm-hmm.
it back to the desk, we can get a little bit of a host insight, an outsider perspective on what in the hell we just saw in McDonald Land today.
I was about to say, first of all, I hope you guys got me something while you were over there, bro. Because it seems like you guys were in McDonald's for a while there. I hope you brought me something to eat. I'm kind of hungry. I'm
Uh,
not gonna
I
lie.
I have a couple McChickens. Is that good?
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I'll make do with that. I'll make
All
do
right.
with
I
that.
couldn't
I'll
get a
email them
McFlurry
to
though.
you.
It's
Damn.
ice cream
Ooh.
machine's not
Ice
working.
machine broke.
Yeah.
Ice machine
It's
broke.
always
You know
broken.
how it be. Yeah, I'm also in talks with Riot for Becky here to rename it to the Jornana Tato. I believe that's what you called it here at the start.
Jornana Tato.
The
Yep.
Jornana
Jornano
Tato.
Tato.
So we'll
Yep.
we'll see what we can work out there. But yeah. I mean, what? My God, what a match, right? First, we have all these like pauses going down, right, which is just absolutely screwing up the game. And then finally, once we do get around to actually getting into the game, it's just absolute flip fest. So what at what point were things just going downhill for Caldera? Because they were looking pretty strong towards that mid game, and then all of a sudden, I tab back in, and they're gone. Like
The
they've lost
mental,
face.
the Baron steal. I
Yeah.
think that was the straw that broke the camel's back right there. They were just it's just so disheartening. It was a good call, it was the right play, and it just didn't go in their favor. Obviously, results-based analysis is not the way to look at this game, but it was that one point, and then sure, they got a couple of dragons after that, but the fights were still going in favor of OSU, and I mean, they scale really well. They have a Graves, they have a Jinx, they have a Volley Bear, and you win one side lane, but you lose the rest of the map. Hecarim wasn't able to have the impact. It had one good ultimate, but other than that, it just kept getting caught out, getting absorbed, getting eliminated right away. And I think that just that's honestly just rune optimization. You go that phase rush so you can't get caught out in those sticky situations. You go Conqueror if you're just looking to play for fights, looking to be that big bruiser in the front line. But when you have that phase rush, you can just get out of those situations. And it's so easy to get caught. So having that escape button is what you need in that game. And it's really unfortunate for them, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's really unfortunate for sure because I would have to agree with you that that sort of Baron steal, like you don't want to go into this results based analysis, but you have to consider the human factor here
Mm-hmm.
when you
The
look at
mental.
these games, and we saw that once again after that Infernal went down. They like it looked like the Wolves had just checked out when they lost that Infernal flip.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kept into the game and they continue to try and fight it, and there were some bright spots, but they looked a lot more shaky than they had looked throughout the rest of the game, and it's
Mm-hmm.
really disappointing to see that happen. So hopefully these players can take the time to get this break and take a break, get a drink of water, get eat a McChicken, and really sort of reset here going into game two, because now the pressure is really on them and they need to focus and they need to hone in and make sure that those burger flips go in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that they all paid attention during the tutorial phase. Because that being said, we'll throw it to a short break, and then when we're back, we might just be right back in the kitchen flipping some more. We'll have to see. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody! We are here in the draft for Game 2 between OSU and Wolfpack Caldera. And that last game was tragic. That was a tragedy in motion. I think Shakespeare himself would have struggled to really bring that one home. And yet we are in the draft again. There seem to be some issues as we get into the draft here. It looks like
there's a loss of ban
maybe
for OSU.
For OSU?
Oh, they traded Volley and Graves and Champ Select.
Oh, no. Oh, that is...
You're supposed to pick for yourself.
Ooh. That is unfortunate for them. I actually did not know that was a rule, because that would explain why a team lost a ban earlier this week with the game I was casting, because they just swapped champs in champ select rather than actually doing it in draft or picking for themselves.
And here we are. Draft is rolling here. Should be moving in just a second, so we'll see how that rolls out here.
So after that game 1, what do you think the Wolfpack needs? Do you think any adjustments need to be made in terms of what needs to be hit, or if they can just go stick to the game plan and just try and win those 50-50s, or perhaps make those 50-50s not happen?
I mean, I think it's also just a little bit of comp diff. Again, I did like the comp coming in from OSU last time. It looked really solid. It was very easy to execute, and Wolfpack's comp was all about flanks from the Aurelia, and she just wasn't able to get those angles, and the Hecarim got caught out. But you need both of those factors to work well. Instead of one piece working, you need two to work in sync, and they just weren't able to make that happen. So I think they need to just walk back, go to his one execution note comp, and make it work that way. One go button that will signal everyone instead of having to wait for everyone to be in position.
Yeah, although OSU losing a ban here means that they're going to ban the Jinx and leave the Zeri up. I'm curious if Wolfpack will be looking to get that as their first pick when it gets traded back over to them. Otherwise, pretty standard bans. Yep, that is going to be the Zeri first pick. Not too much of a surprise. I wonder if we're going to see an Aphelios response or if there'll be another pick in the tank. Caitlyn is also pretty decent. Oh, yeah, it's
Aphelios.
Just Aphelios. No Thresh to enable him. So
Tom Kench is up.
Tom Kench is up. That would be nice. Thomas and Aphelios, they do work together quite well. Volibear going to be picked up once again for OSU. Worked out great for them in the previous match. Although, it's trade trade diff, champ diff, it's all right. It won them the game, It's all that matters. They just got to win this one with one less ban. It's all right. Happens to the best of us. Now Wolfpack gonna be looking to get 2 and 3 here. I'm guessing they're gonna be picking up their support here, and then likely the jungler. Viego.
I mean, jungler first, or it works either way. Vape Nash.
Vape Nash. Mr. Viego gonna get picked up here. That is likely jungle, but could still go into lane. It is not a foregone conclusion.
It has been done. Whippo pulled it out in LCS just a little bit ago and lost, but the Akali...
Hey, whoa. Akali will indicate... that doesn't indicate anything. Akali can go top or mid.
Yeah.
this answers nothing.
The Victor pick. It denies the Victor pick.
That is true. It will deny the Victor coming out from OSU in response. So, curious to see what they'll do as there are 3 here. If they will go for a blind solo laner or just secure their support. And they're gonna go for the Scion! The big man himself getting picked up. Likely for top lane. Support Scion. I've seen it. I've been the support Scion. So, it's happened. But
I don't know if it's that playable in this meta. But
It's not. It's likely not. But you know, speaking of not, he is on the ban table
Yumi
along with
Lulu.
Yumi. Lulu supports just getting aggroed here. That is
Yep.
one of the options
Karma.
left on the table. Wow, 4 supports, man. I'm sad. I'm
they
sad
have to
looking
pick a
at
hyper
this.
carry mid.
Yeah.
There's the hyper. They're picking Victor.
Ooh, that is a bold maneuver.
That's bold.
Akali.
Ego.
Yeah, Akali will just eat this man alive if she is able to get in there. But, you know, Victor's still very scary and still a huge threat. So I'm not going to necessarily count him out yet.
But actually, though, if you take a look at the comp so far, drafted by Wolfpack, Crown is being incentivized very heavily. It's Aphelios, Viego, Akali. Both of these champs are super high upfront burst champs, and the Vex also incentivizes that even more.
Yeah,
So,
this is big burst city. You know what? Put in a Veigar support. Let's just get 5 burst four burst
like that,
champions
though.
and Zeri.
Vex and
I don't.
Akali.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
No, I agree. I'm not saying it's a good thing to go with the Veigar support, but it would be funny.
It would be
Instead,
very funny.
it was probably just gonna be like a Leona or what other basic supports are left up?
Rakan
Rakan is an interesting one.
Leona's real turbo strong here, I think. You pick Leona, and you just hard counter the Rakan in lane. Renata's still not enabled, unfortunately. It would have been fun to see. I think Renata's actually really strong here if she was enabled. But
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
you could forego lane, bot side, and pick up the Seraphine. I think that's also a pretty
Ooh.
solid pick. AoE shields, AoE heals, pretty insane. Especially up against champs like that. But the Alistar's also a good one. Also a solid lane counter to the Rakan, and has great roam pressure towards that mid lane. This Vex has no mobility post 6, and her only mobility is going in. So the Alistar is going to be able to find some good roams as long as the Philios is willing to play safe. And Zeri or Khan don't really have that much lane pressure either. So
Yes.
Alistar should just have fun.
So many meatballs on the side of OSU over here with the Volibear, the Scion, and the Alistar. Volibear could even opt to go a little more damage-oriented here in the jungle if he wants to, because he has the room to actually look to just like jump the back line or whoever is available to jump and smack their faces in, because he can do that. We saw that last game with a more is it even tank-oriented Volibear? I think that was just like...
That was split push, side lane, Volibear. Triforce Hullbreaker with a Death Stance. That's like, I will win the duel against everyone in the side lane kind of a mentality there. And he's also pretty solid team fighting because of the decent gold efficiency coming in from Hullbreaker too. Loses the resistances, but the AD, health regen, very solid, and the health too. But this is not a Hullbreaker. Actually, they could run Inting Scion.
Ooh, that is always a possibility. You can never count out Inting Scion on the day. The Baus hanging in. He's watching at all times. He's waiting.
He is. He's here. He's ready.
He will ruin your solo queue game, and there's nothing you can do about it. But he'll still win despite his antics, because
they can't kill him.
You can't.
They actually can't.
Scion's too good. Best
They
champ
don't
in
have the
game.
damage.
Scion, best champ in the game.
Unless Viego goes crit, they don't have the damage to kill him, ever.
Yeah, it is going to be hard to break down this front line, and I'm feeling you're favoring OSU's comp, but who would you favor? Give you a little more thoughts here, if you do favor them, or if you think Wolfpack actually brought home something interesting.
I don't favor Wolfpack this game. I like the Zeri. I think that's like one of the best picks you can have, but if they can get past this early game, if they can pull it to 25 minutes even, OSU hard wins this game. The triple frontliners going to be so hard to break through. Even if you are an Akali, there's just a lot of point and click, or there's just a lot, also non-committal CC, like the Alistar, who can just Q you as you're trying to dash and can cancel your dashes. It's hard to do, mind you, but I mean, this Alistar can also knock you out of your shroud, or knock you up out of your shroud, not out with the W. You can only use the Q because you're untargetable. But I mean, there's still a lot of disruption here, and again, Crown's incentivized, Gale Force is incentivized, and you have a lot of frontline, and they have the range advantage too.
Yeah, no, OSU have drafted quite an incredible comp to enable these two hyper carries in the Aphelios and the Victor, and may be able to just shut the Wolfpack out of the game, but the Wolfpack still has damage and they still have aggro. If they can get the ball rolling like last game, if they can execute well going into the mid game and finish the game before Aphelios and Victor find their items, and Scion, you know, and Volibear, before the game ends.
Come through. Before items come through.
Before everybody gets items, you know, before like 30 minutes, if they can get into an easily winning position, the Wolfpack could take this game, but I would have to agree with you. It's absolutely favored for Ohio State with this draft, but we saw last game was all about burger flips. We're going to have to figure out if we're still in McDonald land or if we finally arrived at Runeterra when we come back, because after this break, we're going to have more League of Legends action here for Game 2 between OSU and the Wolfpack. Stick around, because you're not going to miss it. And welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 between the Wolfpack Caldera and OSU. And here we are praying to the gods of the small indie company that today, for this matchup, we will not get any pauses and any server issues. Although there's there's a bit of a gap on the right side of the screen. That's okay. These things happen. I don't know how this is being shown on stream, but this is the weirdest thing. I don't think I've ever seen this. I've played League. I've played League for the whole existence of this game. I have never seen this bug. This is new content.
It's
It is
got to be a
very
new bug.
exciting.
It has to be a new bug.
This is
It's just clearly a riot gap because there's a
This
gap.
is-
Haha.
Yeah, this is very exciting here for sure. We get some interesting new visual issues to give some excitement to this early game, because overall there is a ward going to be dropped on the top side of the rift, so they will know that Guy of Random is starting at the blue buff. Both junglers are actually starting top side this game. I don't see this very often. I'm curious the theory behind this.
I mean, I guess it's all right. They both want to play around these pretty nice setup bot laners. You know, Alistar's great setup level 2 and 3. Rakan's pretty solid at level 3 as well. He can't really go in at level 2 just because he can get one-tapped if he does go in. He doesn't have an escape unless he goes E and W, which is kind of weird. I like having the Q. It does give you a little bit of sustain, a little bit of poke, and pressure in lane as well. So having that is pretty solid. But for the most part, it's pretty standard setups here from either team, although both junglers do start the top side. So they are going to meet up. Ooh,
They
interesting.
will meet up, and we have a little bit of a trade here. Rakan going in at level 2, not actually getting punished for it.
He did go to E.
Instead, Fluo is just going to take quite a bit of damage there. Here, ooh, we have an Electrocute proc in the mid lane off of Professor Hex. Getting a decent combo here, but both of them are just going to be chugging potions to get back up to a reasonable amount of HP. Corrupting potions on both mid laners. Corrupting potion on Scion in the top lane. Doran's Ring on the Akali, which that makes sense to me.
It's fine because the passive will regen health instead of mana because you are manaless.
Oh, is that how it works? I thought you just didn't get any value from it.
Since the start of Season 11 item reworks, that's how Doran's Ring works now. So it's not terrible on manaless champs anymore.
That's really nice. I actually didn't know that. I wasn't building it on Vladimir. I was like, oh wait, I can actually build it on Vlad.
It is buildable on Vladimir.
Don't know if I'd go it over Doran's Shield, but
definitely not. I think it's just super high value on that champ. Having that extra health sustain helps a lot, especially when you're constantly losing health to cast your spells.
Yeah, but you know the real value is you just go Dark Seal. You know, Dark Seal 3 pots. That's the big value. It's like Singe. You just only go Dark Seals.
Dark Seal and Corrupting Potion, Time Warp Tonic, and cookies. That's all you need.
Hooray! Remember when Time Warp Tonic counted your ulti in the Insanity Potion as a potion?
That was pretty great.
That's so hyper specific to just Singed.
Just
Singed.
Singed.
I'm kind of sad they got rid of it. And Professor Hex gonna be sad here, having to blow flash, but gonna get stunned up anyways. Crashing into the wall. Flu doesn't quite make the flash over, but does secure it. But the stun over the wall. Wow, that was a long journey for Capitan as he is able to lock them up. And that trade in the mid lane goes so horribly wrong. First blood is taken. But that's two for one in favor of the Wolfpack.
Yeah, they take those every day of the week. They're ahead now, 600.
Oh, and it's going to be another one going over to Akali. Scion's the one getting solo boloed right here. The boss crying, waking up in a cold sweat, feeling another Scion die on the rift. But it was not a good death. The bad death.
Only a bad death there. Very unfortunate there. But one thing to note, though, Victor and Vex both get kills there, so the lane states are still pretty even. But Victor actually having that lost chapter. I want to check something. No, he has cookies. He cannot have Futures Market.
No,
he cannot.
He's going for the lost chapter here with the cookies. I know that there are some analysts, particularly some salesmen out there who do not like cookies. I actually have not been keeping up with the cookies debate, so I'm not entirely sure what is so wrong with it, but it could be Mookub who is gonna have something wrong with him as he
Oh
gets the
my.
flawless execution on his face, and Jin is just gonna be looking for another 3-point strike, but the energy is not there to convert. The Shuriken dash, flashing the trade 1-for-1.
That's not worth.
Okay, well, Scion will take that every day of the week. So, okay, I'll take a freebie.
You'll trade 1-for-1 every time you're behind.
Yeah, because he also picked up the Cole on the Scion, which I actually really like that buy personally.
He's going Hullbreaker. He's going
Yeah,
Hullbreaker.
He's doing it. He's going into Scion. This is extremely good content. But the first dragon will likely be picked up. Yep, there it goes over to the Wolfpack as they pick up that first Ocean Drake. Next up will be Hextech. So no Hextech rifts to deal with. No funny portal shenanigans. I'm glad because I still don't quite know. It's been how long in season 11? I just have no idea. I just have no idea where the portals go. I know
they go places. They go places. You know, Jace made them, so they don't work that well, unfortunately. So
well,
feels bad, man.
Look,
it happens.
He's trying, okay?
He's trying. He's trying.
He's doing his best. He's just one guy with the weight of the world on his shoulders.
I mean, it's from NA, so it's like not gonna work out. You know, NA Jace and all that.
Oh yeah, but we have an engage here. Vanilla AD Carry gonna back out of that one. It's just gonna be, you know, some spells flying out. Rakan and Alistar showing off some fancy footwork, but not a whole lot in response. Viego showing up to deter that engage. Just going to be recalling right now. And Mookub, it's going to be looking to...
If that shotgun toss hits, he is done.
Yeah, the coward in this situation is definitely Mookub, ulting out of that one. But I suppose it is a smart play to just try and stay safe here. Jin is playing incredibly well on this Akali.
And Akali is kind of hard for these tanks to deal with in the early game, just because her base numbers are really high. She also scales relatively well. Not well into them specifically, but she does scale well into bruisers, well into ADCs. Okay, any assassin scales well into ADCs, but this Akali is really obnoxious to deal with because she's manaless, and the W also helps out a lot with her energy problems that she can have with that Q early game. It's 110, I believe, level 1, or 135, something along those lines. It's pretty high. So it's a very scary thing, especially that's your trade combo. You Q, get the slow, walk back, get that passive auto. That does not give you any energy regen anymore, though. So that's really unfortunate.
Yep, that is unfortunate, but still quite a bit of damage here. And Mookub feeling the pain and going to be down in levels right now, and now going to be forced out by the Viego. Walking up here, potentially looking for a dive. Going to just scout this one out, looking for a wolf. Not going to see the recall there because that is behind the Fog of War. And we'll just find that there's no Krugs. Nothing to pick up there. Mookub will back out safely, but is falling further and further behind in experience and is waltzing down bot lane.
Oh, wow. That's actually a very interesting play here. Maybe they'll be able to make it work out. I don't think the Zeri has the damage to kill the Scion. If he is going to run there, no, he's just going mid. They changed the pathing.
And we're going to see if this Herald fight's going to work out. Jin looking to just stand around here, trying to get onto the Victor. The Shuriken goes wide, but the damage is still going down. Hunt for value, getting quite a bit of damage in as well. Mookub, the pain coming down. This Scion's not super tanky. Alistar is going to do what they can to keep Guy out of this fight. But the burger flip, the first one of the game, goes over to Guy of Random, and the fight's going to break out here. Professor Hex getting a lot of damage out and a lot of poke down, but the Victor Chaos Storm will shred through the these members on the side of the Wolfpack. And that will be a 2-for-1, but the Herald going over to UPC.
They commit to that Herald, and yet the Volibear doesn't have Evolved Smite yet, so that's not 50-50. That is very much not a burger flip. That is solely in favor of Wolfpack there, because they have the 900 Smite. So that's just not
true.
Yeah, the Viego had the Smite evolved beforehand, so that's just not the play to look for. They're not. But Mookub actually having a solid time here, looking to build towards that Hullbreaker, like we said earlier. So once he gets that item spike, it's a really good Scion item. Those resistances are huge, and he just gets tankier as the game goes on as he gets
Ooh,
CS.
Blue
But they're
is
looking
in
for the
danger
play.
here. The Ghost gets popped. Vanilla AD carry not landing the vital attacks, and the response coming in from the combo here. The knock up into the Moonlight Vigil will do enough damage to take down Capitan, but Guy of Randoms here in the wings, gonna ghost up, going Ghost, and gonna try and slam down here. The claw lands, but Alistar's back in this fight, and this time there's a bear to back him up. This cow is on a rampage, helping out his good friend Aphelios, as Blue picks up 2 kills in that fight.
Meow, meow, I'm a cow. The cow's popping off here, and those are just some great engages. Yes, Victor with crown. He's smart. Let's go.
Intelligent gameplay.
Yes.
Let's go.
Great itemization there. But as we're talking about, the whole cookies debate from earlier here, I don't think it's that great unless you need to survive the lane, or you need a way to survive the lane, or you're only good in the early game. Cookies are a crutch, but if you need to win the lane, you go Cookies Time Warp, and it basically makes your lane phase uncontestable if you are an early game champion. But I don't like people taking out on champs like the Rise. Unless you're forced to go into Inspiration Tree with First Strike, like Victor or Corki, I don't think it's that great to take those two. But I also value Cosmic Insight a little bit higher than Time Warp Tonic, because that becomes useless past 20 minutes when you should have sold your potion by then.
Yeah, I mean, I love Cosmic Insight personally. I always take it just because I like it. There's no theory behind what I'm doing. I just like Cosmic Insight because the CD is just really nice to have. It's just really convenient.
CDR, it's great.
But I also play support, so like I get quite a bit of value out of that. There's going to be a fight up here. Jin getting a little bit of damage. The first hit of the Flawless Execution will go down, waiting to get the second one in. But Mukub is quite tanky, going to be flashing out here. The second hit goes down, but not nearly enough to finish Mukub off. There is enough HP and magic resist that Mukub is able to safely get out of this one. Teleport is up as well, so he will be able to get back up on this fight as Biogamer is going to be coming down. Teleport's crashing in as the Herald gets summoned. Will get the slam into the tower, but does not secure it. The plates, however, do still get secured by the top side of the map.
Yep. Getting those plates in that Akali's back pocket feels pretty solid. She does have a sizable lead now, just under 500 gold. So she's in a great spot to try and carry this game, but Mythics are coming through. Mythic Watch, very helpful there. Gonna be the Gale Force on the Aphelios, Crown on the Victor like we said earlier. But that's a great item setup that they can look for with this dragon. The only mythic that really matters or here that they don't have is that Trinity Force on the Zeri though. So that's gonna be a little scary. So you gotta be a little worried about this dragon fight coming up in the next 3 minutes. If she can farm up, nope, she has it. Never mind. But Aphelios is slightly ahead because he has those boots. So
yeah, the completed booties on the Aphelios is not like a huge push in his favor, but it is a bit more movement speed, and Mukub is, he is feeling the pain right now, still missing a completed item. All of his shouts are just shouting into the wind right here. Akali staying safe and forcing Mukub out once again. He is in a really bad situation up in this top lane.
Yes, and this Riftmaker has already done 300 damage ever since the Akali bought it. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I never get that. I never get those numbers when I build it on in ARAM. That's for sure. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I feel like every time I build Riftmaker, it's like this item's cracked, and then it does nothing for me.
Yeah. It's really good on certain champions. I think it's pretty solid there on the Akali if you're going into like a heavy tanky comp like you are right now. Great on the Gwen for sure. It's pretty solid on Mordekaiser, but I think
Hunt for Value is hunting for some trouble as here comes the Vex following up that ulti combo. The Chaos Storm is going to do a little bit of damage, but the CC is more than enough to finish off the mid laner of OSU, and now Akali is going to be looking to get this flawless execution up on the top side. Mukub going to be trying to look for a way out, but there is no way out for him, potentially, as the Alistar is now a little too far forward, popping the ultimate to stay safe, and Mukub is continuing to fight this one. Minions are here to back him up, calling his friends. The flawless execution second hit is no longer up, and Jin is going to be able to secure that one with the Shuriken. The heal just being barely enough to keep him alive from that tower damage. Biogamer waiting in the wings, clearing out vision, but overall, I believe that was just one kill over to Jin in the top lane.
Yeah, it was just going to be that one kill gifted over. That's really about it. Apart from that Victor pick that they did fine. But Victor is going to be up for this dragon. But more importantly, though, no Heartbreaker on the Viego. and no Shadow Surge available just yet. Let me check the timer on that one. Shadow Surge will be available, but Heartbreaker will not, or will be there too. So all their ultimates are going to be available. So they could look for picks as soon as this dragon spawns here, and that could be something to look forward to. But I mean, the crown is just going to make it so much harder to deal with, and I think this Victor is actually itemizing towards the Cosmic Insight, or no, not Cosmic Drive. Cosmic Insight's the rune.
Yeah.
With the Aether Wisp.
Yeah, that is a possibility. Also could be a Lich Bane, potentially.
It could be Lich Bane.
There is some Lich Bane tech. I know Freak has been talking about Lich Bane tech being really good. I'm not necessarily sure if it's good in this specific game. I like it. It is like a, it's like I'm already winning and I want to just have fun. I'm feeling good about myself, and Fun for Value has got to be feeling good about that trade there, getting a ton of damage onto Guy of Random, although it doesn't really matter here because they aren't able to convert into anything. Herald was aggroed. You see Shirley walking up here. Shirley's mad. She got woken up and she's not happy about it. Here comes Rakan getting a double knock-up CC chain, and the pain being brought down by Professor Hex is going to blow up the Victor, but now Foe popping the ulti, walking out of this one. Biogamer is at no HP, dropping the Thunder to deter this siege, but that is not going to deter a whole lot because that wasn't even really their goal, because now they walk over to very easily pick up the first Drake, the third Drake, the Cloud Drake, their second one, and the first one starting to scale towards that soul.
And ultimates are very important there on the side of Wolfpack. Zeri ultimate's very important. Vex, that's super important too. Big
oh wait, Sion here, the solo bolo may be in our future. Here comes the ulti, does not quite land. The slows aren't landing either. Professor Hex with the happy feet, waiting for that fear to charge up. Biogamer getting a lockdown onto Jin, but Jin is getting the catch out here. The stun's gonna go down, but inside of the shroud, you can't see the champion, can't even pink ward her anymore. Make sure to pink ward the Nadali spears, the classic saying, as Akali gets out of this one. And, I mean, she wasn't in any danger. She was trying to kill people, but also Vex got out of that one.
Yes, and we do see Akali opting for the more Bruiser-style build. Riftmaker into Demonic Embrace, going to feel pretty solid there into this triple tank line.
The Sion's crazy. Oh, wait. Oh, he's
wait, it doesn't matter if he dies, he gets the tower.
Wait, but yeah, he dies, he gets the tower. This is all value. This is all value right here. Big money over to
600 gold.
That 600 gold. Inting Sion, the more deaths he has, the more powerful he is. And because of Sion drawing so many people down to him on the bot side, top side turret goes down as well.
Oh, this is just a trade downwards there, and they were in the driver's seat. Wolfpack commits so much to that Sion, and he's just able to grab a tower and guarantee a second. But the Rift Herald's used in the mid lane, and they don't have the Victor here for the wave clear. He's up in the top side. Philly's going to ult for the wave clear, though.
Yeah, Philios is going to have to ulti for the wave clear. The crash is going to come in. Shirley will take down this tower. That will be all that she can get, though. That is, in the end, a trade of, I believe, if Akali gets this, it's going to be 2 for 2 in turrets, but that is an inner turret secured by the side every day of the week. OSU. And that is way more money than the Wolfpack got.
600 gold, very important, but we see the rotation coming down on the bot side. Akali, though, super slippery, has the perfect execution, can get herself out of there, but Gaia Random might be looking for the Aphelios.
Yeah, potentially looking for this engage here. Gaia Random is aware that Aphelios is nearby. The ping came down, but the base will just be completed. Playing a little safe there, not a bad idea, as Alistar and Biogamer were hanging around. And
look what the Akali's pathing. She's pathing topside. Why? Because Sion is Thanos. He is so hard to kill.
Sion has achieved an item and a half. Like, early game, Sion was feeling really sad, but now he is quite dangerous.
Akali will still 1v1 him pretty solidly, though, with her items. But the rest of the team, not so much.
Yeah, the Demonic Embrace there getting picked up by the Akali is really, really nice. I do think that is especially into this comp, you needed to pick that one up. Just the extra % health burn coming down here with the
Also, it's converted to true damage. Some of
oh,
it.
sure. Yeah, some of it's true
Maker.
damage. Yeah. So that's all just very nice, big value on the Akali. Smart building decision, and the
Mhm.
HP. It's a little bit of HP, but it
It's
all
alright.
helps. It makes you feel a little bit safer,
Mhm.
especially when you're in a Akali jumping into the back line, trying to avoid a very angry cow from sending you into next week.
Yep. Well, this Victor is going Lich Bane Gaming, like you said, like Freak said,
Ooh,
and
value.
I don't know how valuable that is though, because Viego goes invis, Akali goes invis, Zeri's gonna be moving around at the speed of sound.
He's
so
not going to be auto attacking anything.
Yeah, you're not landing your autos, man. Let's be real.
The best you can hope for is
Maybe on the Vex or something.
maybe the Vex, maybe the Rakan, or he waits for Riot to patch in denying so he can auto attack his teammates.
True.
But the teleport coming in from Professor Hex is going to stop the push in mid lane and also, get Vex back into the mid lane as the Dragon is going to be up in 40 seconds. This is going to be the second Cloud Drake and Soul Point potentially over for Wolfpack. Now we're going to see this fight, the fight we've been waiting for. Sion, he's spending the hyperbolic time chamber, and he's going to be ready to try and fight this one, but still probably not going to win it if he takes it. This is a 1v1 in top lane. Akali is locked in mortal combat with this big, angry man. And it's going to be likely this is a 4v4 over the Dragon, but Aphelios is not here yet. Gonna walk into that. Oh, here comes the fight. This one for real. This time it is. Jhin using the movement to dodge out of the decimating smash, looking to avoid as much damage as possible. The Shuriken gets that execute damage, but there's no executing to be done, and Akali will force Mukub back with 2-level lead.
This is just a standoff.
Yeah, while the standoff continues in bot lane, Akali is getting... It's going to get quite a bit of damage on this inner turret in the top side of the map. And now Sion's actually going to TP in here top lane, but he's going to get caught out. His decimating smash doesn't get to go through, and there's nobody there to back him up. That TP sucked.
They did get the Dragon, though, so the Sion does burn his TP, does get some damage, and catches the wave, more importantly. So he's able to defend this tier 2 a little bit longer because a couple of those ranged minions are down, but Zeri's trying to cut them off. Oh!
Fight. All-Star's going to be in the front lines, good looking to get as much CC as possible on to those frontline members. Vanilla AD carries getting stacked up, getting amped up, getting ramped up, looking to just try and poke back as they disengage from this fight. They are going to successfully get out of that one. A kill will be picked up onto Capitan, but that is all that the side of OSU will manage to secure. Vanilla AD Carry going to be dashing forward, trying to snipe as much as possible, but in the end, that is just going to be, that's just going to be, just like a tower in top lane, and, it's a kill picked up onto the Rakan.
Yes, but the scaling factor's coming through very, very shortly. The Sion does have that second item building towards a third, but this Akali is itemizing purely for the Sion, building towards that Void Staff now as well. Oh my good.
Hex Flash over the wall. BioGamer dropping the emote. Really disappointed.
Was that Hex? Was that Hex Flash?
It might not have been. That was just real flash. Oh yeah, here comes Alistar. He's gonna wish he had used his real flash, going a little too far forward. I don't know what that was. I don't know if he
that play.
He engaged that, right? I'm not crazy.
No.
He engaged that. Why?
I don't know, and I also don't know. Gamer engaged that too.
BioGamer was feeling himself or feeling some kind of magic. The magic may be Sion on the bot side of the map. This Herald's not going down as quickly as maybe they hoped, but they're going to all just be recalling. Yeah, Rakan's just sort of like waiting here. Here comes BioGamer stepping out. They're not going to even attempt to burger flip this. They're just going to let the Wolfpack take down this first Baron and potentially let Sion pick up something on the bot side of the map.
That's not terrible. That's at tier 3, and they don't have wave position, so they are just going to have to base here and wait to get this Baron buff on the field. So it's not the worst play. They give up the Baron, but they are able to grab that, at least a tier 3, so it is something they can look to knock on those doors, break the base. But the more important thing, though, mid is still alive coming through for Wolfpack, so it's something they need to try and break this mid-tier 1, at least. But it's really hard to do that. They don't really have the range to do it. Both their carries are about 550 range when it comes to their auto attacks to actually deal with that tower. So it's a lot to walk through. You have to walk through a Vex. You have to walk through a Viego. There's so much to deal with.
Yeah, no, there is a lot you have to contest here. But fortunately, for now, it looks like that the side of the Wolfpack will just be looking to try and get a pick here, and maybe they got it. The Everfrost will lock down the Alistar. He's got nowhere to go. He may be ulting up. He's very tanky, though. And in response, Blue manages to pick up Capitan a little too far forward and not able to get anything done as a result of that. It was a decent pick and a decent idea to get flow there, but the ulti from Alistar is just so good.
Alistar not even level 10 or not even level 11 yet, so the damage reduction isn't at its peak. But the damage coming through is pretty solid, and this Baroned up cannon minion is doing quite a bit.
Yeah, this cannon minion is going to do a little bit of damage, and we are back in the top lane. The battle of the century. That decimating smash will land. Jin not able to get out of that one. The second hit of the flawless execution. Perfect execution coming down there. Shuriken does not land on the Mukub, but Mukub is not necessarily safe here, but now the damage is actually going back into Mukub's favor as Jin's taking a couple hits, but backup has arrived. The side of the Wolfpack have decided that they're gonna stay together. Oh, Gaia random flashing to interrupt the Scion ultimate, but Akali was nowhere nearby, so that was just a wasted flash.
That does absolutely nothing. These junglers just want to use their flash, I guess. You know, well, get it off cooldown, right?
No, think about how Mukub's gotta feel. He thought he was gonna ult out of there safely. Boom, crash into Viego. He still got away, but
he didn't even burn his flash.
That's the thing. He didn't even burn his own flash. That was just a complete waste.
I mean, same thing with Biogamer going for this Zeri.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. These things happen. Sometimes you just want to hit the D key. You just want to flash. You just want to feel powerful. And Biogamer may have found the Zeri here in this fight. That was not the Zeri. That was actually just Guy of Random, who's looking really squishy right now. The Fear is going to fear up the front line, and Jin is on the back line looking to get some stuff done. Scion's in the front doing quite a bit of damage, and Aphelios is crazy, just shredding out that Rakan, but Zeri's pretty crazy as well, as she's looking to just snipe out, clean up after her assassin has done all the work, and she is gonna be cleaning up for sure. The janitor has arrived, and she will just mop up these kids as they look to secure the next Cloud Drake and Soul Point.
Zeri, oh, she's hit that 2-item spike, working towards a third. She is popping off here in that fight. They just weren't able to lock her down. They used everything on the Viego, and they couldn't even take him down either. So, target selection needs to be on point, and unfortunately right now, OSU just doesn't have it. They need to have their comms in sync. They need to go for that one target. They need to get the pick on Viego and then look for everyone else afterwards. But the Akali just disrupting the backline makes that so hard to deal with.
Yeah, this is actually... We're reaching 30 minutes here, and this was the point where we were supposed to say, oh, yeah, you know, at this point in the game, the Wolfpack are out of commission. This is it. You know, dust it off, pack it up, you know, make sure to put in your order for your food to come in, order the pizza, because in a few more minutes, you're going to be done. But now it looks like the Wolfpack actually have a very solid position as we get into we have passed the 30-minute mark and rub up on this Dragon Soul point.
It's because the Akali got really fed. That was the one thing that needed to not happen, because she is now shredding through the Scion. She can shred through everyone else. The Scion is the raid boss, and the fact that she can just easily deal with him now, they're TPing behind.
And here comes the raid boss of the Wolfpack, as Jin is just going to very easily clean up this cow, turn him into a nice sirloin as that goes down, but the Chaos Storm is actually going to destroy Zeri here, but Akali's still in this fight. She has never left. She's been here the whole time, and she is angry because she will not actually finish anymore. Wait, she just stopped. Wait, hunt for values. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Wait, that was... Victor died, right? Like, wait, hold on. Wait, they just stopped?
They stopped.
They gave up? Was it the Scion? Was he
the Scion? It had to have been the Scion. That is the only reason.
The pressure from Scion stops them, and
Akali's the only one who
Somehow,
can kill him. No one else can kill him.
yeah,
She has to be the one to base.
yeah, Akali had to stop to try and prevent Mukub from just obliterating that inhib, and yeah, that'll just keep Hunt for Value alive. Hunt for Value walks out of that one in a world where he really should not have.
That was very illegal. That was very illegal.
That was highly illegal. I don't know who we need to call to get this checked out, but we need to call somebody.
Yeah.
You can't get away with that.
We need an adult here. We need someone.
I really do need an adult. This is quite high level. That situation, very high level. But that is all right because overall, at this point in the game, the Baron has respawned. So both teams are just going to look to posture around it, and Wolfpack has the edge and are getting out the vision, and they are going to look to start it up.
And the Volibear are trying to find a way in, but it's warded out. They do have a blast cone though.
Well,
Azeri can actually go shoot that over the wall if she wants to.
Yeah,
oh,
she
but this
can.
Victor damage over the wall.
Yeah, this Victor damage over the wall. Here comes Jin over the wall as well. Looking, trying to get as much damage as possible. Landing onto the Aphelios, so you saw him, and then you didn't. Fortunately, the cow will burn the Akali down, able to give them an angle into this fight. Volibear's on the front trying to do as much damage as possible. He's only going to be hitting a Rakan here, and now there are two fronts to this fight. Hunt for Value is going to try and take down the Viego, but doesn't have enough damage, doesn't have enough backup, and Biogamer's on the run. He's a bear, and he's on the run, and he's going to go down. But Sion crashes in to that inhib and will now crash into these turrets, getting down that ulti damage. He's insane. He can't be killed. Akali's dead. Wait, Akali's dead. Wait, no way. Wait, he can actually end the game. They have no CC. They have nothing left. They have just the Viego.
Oh my god.
The Viego stun. He's going to try to do as much as possible. He's going to clap, and he's going to Oh no! Tragedy strikes! The Scion does it! The ending Scion has collected another victory! And
The
Solo
gets the win. The Scion takes the game. Oh, he was running it the entire game, but that's why you pick it. You go 2-7. Doesn't matter. You have Hullbreaker, you have Titanic, and you just take everything. The only one who's dealing damage to you is Akali, and she died. The Alistar got the kill, and he can just push to end the game. It doesn't matter if they lose Baron. It doesn't matter if they lose their entire team. No one can kill that Scion.
No. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable that I saw that with my eyes. What I'm gonna need like
We gotta get that MVP vote.
Oh, I wonder. We're gonna need an MVP vote. We're gonna need an adult. That's for certain. Let's get Echo back in here. Maybe he'll be the adult we need to salvage the situation. Echo, what in the goddamn?
Yeah, that happened really.
Yeah,
Happened.
that was real. Inting Scion. In a Diamond Masters game, Inting Scion won the game. Yep.
Oh my god, I'm speechless at this point. Honestly, it's like, what do you say to that? Like,
I'm actually crying. Oh my god, what? Beautiful. You know what? Mukub deserves it.
Outplayed.
okay,
Outskilled. Skill issue.
Skill issue.
I think we'll let's get the first thing out of the way. It's just the MVP vote, right? I think let's get that out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Gents, what do you guys tipping on? I don't even have to ask, but I'll ask just for normality's sake. Who's the MVP?
I mean, do you even give it to Mukub is my question. Because honestly, like that Scion crashing into turrets is an inevitability, but also like an AI program could do that. That wasn't necessarily. It depends on who is making these calls and who is in charge of the macro play there. Because I actually think that Hunt for Value played really well stalling and getting good fights as the victor. His scoreline maybe not necessarily look like it, but I felt like, especially in those later fights, he was able to get so much done to just secure maybe not kills to win the game, but get enough damage to force to stop plays from happening. And in that last fight, he was able to get enough damage onto the Akali with the help of Felios and
The
Ignite
cow
from
got the kill.
Alistar.
Yep.
Ignite from Alistar, that they were able to stop Akali, and without the one check in the game, Mukub was able to just right click of the Nexus.
Yep.
What can you say?
Checkmate. Checkmate. That's exactly.
Checkmate.
My only threat has been taken down. Game is mine. That's exactly what happened.
This just turned into like a 2-minute bit of Becky trying to explain to us why the Intic Scion deserves any kind of recognition you mentioned.
No, no, this is the bit of why I don't
The
want to give Inting Scion any recognition. I refuse. I know it's right, but it feels wrong.
It feels wrong with that score line, but it was because of just the damage he did to towers. He was able to get some early tier 2s, get some gold in their
Mhm.
back pockets, and just push that bot lane over and over and over again, and finally break those walls down, break the wall, and take the game home. And I mean, sure, it didn't look pretty. It looked very ugly, but that's just the name of the game when you're playing that pick. You have Hullbreak, you have Titanic, you clear waves instantly, you have Sunfire to duel if you need to, or just deal passive damage while you're hitting the towers.
Yeah, and in total right now so far we have 100% actually for Mukub. So I mean, it's looking to me like the Intic Scion will indeed be receiving the praise and affection of the people. They've seen it. They've seen it happen. They want to see more of it. Maybe is that what? Maybe that's what I'm hearing.
No,
I don't want to see more of it,
no,
but
I don't think my heart can take it. My doctor already told me to lay off this sort of stressful behavior, and now I get to see Scion running it down and winning. I'm gonna get a stern talking to next time I go see him.
Oh,
oh my god. That being said, I do want to kind of touch on Jin this time around. Performed a lot better than we saw in kind of game one, right? Now that you kind of switch up
definitely.
the picks on the Akali, he was a lot more commanding and a lot more presence than we saw kind of on the Aurelia, where I feel like he was trying to make plays, he was trying to be flashy, but he was falling a little bit short. But this time around, he was the one who was trying to be kind
hmm
of, I feel, the saving grace.
Definitely there. Jin was their saving grace. The only reason they were still in that game, uh, if you take a look at that damage, just keeping that Scion down meant the game lasted longer than it could have. Because if that Scion is not down in gold, not down in XP, he's just able to end the game a lot earlier. Remember, this is a 32-minute game. So it could have ended at 25 if the Scion was a little bit more in the game. But, I mean, he still did his job. But Jin did his best to keep him in the dirt. And just a great job overall from that. But, unfortunately, the Akali pick it did its work, but there just wasn't enough. And because it was not solo AP, and that's one reason why I think if you're gonna pick a Kali, you needs to be solo AP. Vex
Mm.
there kind of screws them over just a little bit because it allows some MR to be built.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You see Biogamer building it. I'm surprised I didn't see anything from Value, but I mean I wouldn't have minded a Banshee's Veil, but the stopwatch helps out a lot as well. But solo AP, I think that's very necessary if you're picking
Yeah.
a champ like Akali.
Yeah, I would absolutely have to agree with that. You want to make sure to force the opponent to, if they're going to itemize against a Kali, it's a big waste of gold for just
hmm
one champion.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So you typically would be disincentivized from doing that, or maybe you get like a little bit of it off of another item that you were going to build anyways.
hmm
But overall, it's just going to carve a path for a Kali to carve a path through the enemy team. But because Vex was there, the value of MR just shoots up, and
Mhm.
it's just
hmm
it's just easy money. It's an easy pickup as a
Yeah.
tank because honestly, like the Zeri was doing a bit of damage. We saw the Zeri mop up one of those fights near the dragon, like I believe the
hmm
fifth dragon of the game. We saw
hmm
Zeri go in and just mop up that fight. But otherwise, she wasn't necessarily doing a whole lot. So the AD threat was not as present in the game
hmm
as both of the AP threats were. And as a result, it made it so much easier for the tanks to itemize MR. And as because of that, Akali was not necessarily forced to go into the tank buster items. She probably would have done it anyways against the Scion, but either
hmm
way, it definitely stifled the potential of the Akali pick to really take over the game.
Mm. Absolutely.
All
And
right.
speaking of a absolute threat, Mukub is deaths and 10 assists.
That is not a pretty score line.
That score line is absolutely weighed by the first game, 100%.
Oh, the only reason it looks even remotely passable is because of the first game.
I was hoping for more deaths, honestly. Where could we get more? We needed more, more inting. Not
Mhm.
nearly griefing enough for inting Scion,
Definitely
But
not.
good stuff, Mookub. Great work out there. Don't do it again.
It's a dirty job. Someone had to do it, and Mookub he stepped up
He
to the
stepped up.
plate. And he's like, "Listen, I got this. I'm going in." He did what had to be done and secured themselves the win. And with that, OSU take a nice little 2-0. All of us
Lock
actually were wrong.
playoffs.
Yeah, they locked playoffs. All of us were slightly wrong on our predictions. We all thought it was going to be a 2-1. Ended up being a 2-0 for Ohio State University. They locked themselves that spot in the playoffs, and they kick Wolfpack Caldera out of there. They're like, bye-bye, shoo now. Bye-bye. Get on out of here. So unfortunately, we will have to pretty much see them go. I don't believe there's really any opportunity for them left to get back into the competition.
Even if they tie with OSU, they have head-to-head, so it is sayonara.
Yeah, unfortunate. For there to be winners, there have to be losers. But regardless, Wolfpack Caldera definitely did still. They had some very nice plays coming out. They definitely still put on quite a show, quite a performance. Sad to see him go, but hey, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You gotta go. Bye-bye.
Gotta go.
They still got more games in the season. Even though you're
And I'm
out
out with a bang.
Yeah.
You still want to put on a show, and especially since you are out at this point, might as well just go crazy, right? You all are diamond master players. Showcase what you can really do. Bring out the cheese, bring out the Gouda, bring in the nonsense, because that's where the entertainment really comes in.
Yeah.
Granted, if you're on stream, do that. Otherwise, I guess you can just play however, It's it doesn't affect the viewers at all. But, if you end up on stream and you're out of the contention, can always throw a good one over,
bro. Yeah, make our lives easier.
Kingmaker next week. If they take on VGA. If they win it, that could push OSU to have a chance at taking that third seed. So, I mean, could be something here. Wolfpack still have a chance to play Kingmaker. So, don't count them out just yet.
That's true. It ain't over. It's never over till it's over. But what is unfortunately over is going to be the festivities for tonight, because that was our last game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Becky, thanks so much for being here, brother. Salt, thank you for coming once again. It was a pleasure having you. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and sign out from here. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the games. We hope you had a lot of fun. I'm sure we did. We started out in McDonald's. We went through the drive-thru. We came to game 2 as well. Everything went downhill. Another drive-thru with Scion driving through the turrets.
I don't know where we were, but we were still in a drive-thru.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're gonna go ahead and drive it on into the outro screen here. I think that's enough for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you guys next time.